Oh my god, we're back. Another awesome, fantastical episode of Paid Time Off. I think we're at. I don't know what paid time off are we at now. Let's see here. Spotify podcasters. So if you guys are watching, thank you for paying that $1 a month to listen to me talk for an extra 30 to 40 minutes. Let's see here. We'll go to episodes. This is my Sick Days podcast homepage right here for Spotify. In case you're wondering, if you're watching, if you're listening, good morning. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Paid time off number 7 is what we're at. Isn't that amazing? I'm so sorry I missed last week, guys. I was busy dealing with my taxes. So apparently I got a letter in the mail. I think I said it last episode, where I owed the IRS $8,000, and I was so confused why. And I thought it was only because one missing piece of paper, but it turns out that not only was I missing that paper, a W-2 form, but I was also I missed filing my taxes for my skate shop when it closed down. I paid my sales tax, which was like $2,500, but I didn't file or report my income through that. So I messed up big time. And so they said, hey, you didn't show that you made $20,000, $27,000, which is totally not true. Well, I did make $27,000, but the majority of that went to paying for the shop. Like, I didn't see any of that money. But I digress. I went to H&R Block. They told me to gather these paperwork, so I spent my whole days finding, emailing, and printing receipts and paperwork from the time I had the shop, which was kind of difficult because that was almost 2 years ago now. So doing that, I'm not gonna have to pay $8,000, which is nice. I am gonna have to pay like $800 to the tax preparer, which sucks, but that's much better than $8,000. So we got that out of the way, thank God. But yeah, that's why I didn't upload an episode last week. I just been really busy. I was filming some things with my camera. Oh, also my car got broken into, and they took my Sony A6000 camera, which let me show you how much that costs real quick. Sony A6000, not model number, just camera. Let's see how much that goes for, yeah? Okay, a used one goes for $372, which is not that bad. All the used ones, but if you bought a new one today, they would go for like $600 or $700. See? And it turns out my insurance, my renter's insurance, is not going to cover it, which really sucks because they're supposed to have security, and my car got broken into at night, and they took all that. They took my Sick Days podcast t-shirt, so I'm really sorry for anyone who pre-ordered and didn't get their shirt. I will pay you back, but it really sucks because I worked hard to get all that stuff set up, and I don't use the camera for video, but I do take family photos with it, so I have photos of my daughter, and the memory cards are there too, which really sucks. So those are memories I'll never get back, and it just hurts that people will do that. I never in my life thought about stealing another person's like equipment because I know how much it probably means to them, but they must have been really down bad. But anyways, I don't want to start this episode negative. Let me take a sip of coffee. It's about 7:15 in the morning. Tasty. Some hazelnut, my friend. But anyways, I have a new camera that I bought for $25 on Facebook Marketplace. If you guys want to see that, it is a Sony Handycam HDR CX440. Yeah, I got this guy right here. I got it on let's see. I got it on Facebook Marketplace, and for $25 the woman sold it, which is a really good deal. Obviously, this was made like, let's see when it was made. When was the Sony Handycam release? If I can spell. Tell me when it was released. Oh, that's my bad. I'm on Microsoft Bing. That's not right. That can't be right. It wasn't released in 2023. There's no way it was released last year. Will this tell us? Okay, well, I can tell you the specs. This is the camera I have. The Sony Handycam HDR CX440. As a sensor, as a 1 to 5.8 inch black illuminated XR CMOS sensor. So, reading with these, I've started to learn about all the sensors and stuff that cameras have. Like a video camera, like Handycams, they have their sensors are a little better than point and shoot cameras. Sorry, they're better than point and shoot cameras in a sense, because like they focus more on video, but their photos are horrendous. The processor is a Bionz X image processor. The lens is a Zeiss Varo Tesla lens with focal length equivalent to 26.8. The reason why the lenses are kind of important because it like kind of gives you the depth of field. And in Handycams, everything's almost like equal depth. I guess there's no blurriness in the background and stuff like that. It all kind of shows clearly. This is an older camera, so it's not going to be as clear as you want it. Already using it, I already can tell. It does have a 60 times zoom, but you can see like right when you start getting into it, it starts getting splotchy a bit. I don't know if you can understand. Let me click on a video I recorded. Sorry if it makes a lot of noise. This is what I was originally going to upload last week, but I have not had time to put all this footage together, so it just kind of, it's just here. Oh, that's loud. I'm sorry. There we go. That's better. Now we'll do it even lower. I'll lower the volume in that spot. But this is it zoomed in pretty far. Let me do this right here. That's a stork I recorded. It's supposed to be in 1080p, but you can see clearly right now that there is some like blurriness and some graininess to it. I guess for the time this came out, it probably looked really clear. And maybe if I use some upscaling like video editing tool, it would probably look better. Like it got that, which was nice. The gentleman riding his bike, it looks smooth, that's for sure. It's odd. It's like if you're watching this on a Sunday morning on public television, and you're like a kid in the 80s or like the 90s or something. You're like, it looks clear, but it's not. I thought he was gonna go fishing right here. Oh, sorry, I jiggled the camera at that point. But it's just like interesting that the time when this came out, it was probably really good quality, but now that we've seen like 4K and 8K, it's not the best. And that was like kind of zoomed. This is zoomed out. I did this real quick of me laying down in the grass. I was working on my filming shots. So me stepping down. Went back. See, it almost looks good. Like it's weird because it looks like it's supposed to look good, but you can see the graininess everywhere. I know I look like a dumbass laying down in this field, but I just wanted to test this shot out to see how it looked. And then I think I have one where I zoomed all the way in to some vultures. I think no, not this one. Was it this one? Okay, this is one where I zoomed as far as I could in. It almost looks like an 80s camera, but it starts getting really shaky as you start getting in there. And see what I'm trying to tell you? The sun rays get in the way. I think some lady was yelling at her dog. But those are the two vultures that I almost got really close to one of them, but you can see that around the vultures lining, it starts getting blurry and the pixels start getting kind of splotchy and it looks almost like an oil painting, like starting to happen, or a pastel. So it's just, not the perfect camera, but it gets the job done, and I'm happy to use it. I'm going to be using it for podcasts and stuff like that. Nope. I was trying to focus it or trying to stabilize it, but I almost got really close to that vulture, which would have been so sick. And then I think, not how I wanted it. It doesn't do too well in low light, from what I noticed. I think here's a duck that I followed. That's like zoomed pretty far in. I gotta edit all the video footage to make it look good. This is me walking. Oh no, I wasn't walking. Oh, I am. See, it looks like it's supposed to look good, right? Like if you're not paying attention or you're just like far away or squint your eyes a little bit, it looks really freaking good. But once you actually start looking at the details, you can tell it's missing something. But I don't know if that's just because we've seen 4K and 8K videos so much that 1080p really does not look good anymore, or if it's just the camera incapable of getting those extra details. But I will be upgrading eventually. I'm going to look for a 405, which is a pretty nice camera. I guess we'll finish this right here. See, I don't know. Let's go to a 405. Mine's a 440. And again, I got it for 25 bucks, and these things go for $300, $200, so I'm not upset with it. But we're gonna do 405. Oops, my dumbass. Is this the right one? Oh, there's an HD one. What is this one? Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Now this is a camera I want. This one looks like it'd be badass, you know what I'm saying? 20 megapixels. And on a point and shoot camera, like you usually get like 40, 60 megapixels and stuff like that, but for video cameras you get smaller ones because you're recording video, I guess. Not too sure. Let's look it up actually. Why do handy cams have lower pixels? Let's see what Copilot says. It's responding. I'm gonna drink some coffee in the meantime. Okay, let's read what it says. Handycams, like any other digital cameras, have varying pixel counts for a few reasons. Let's break it down. Megapixels explained. The term megapixels refers to the number of picture elements in an image. When you see a camera specification like 12 MP, it means the image is composed of 12 million tiny dots or squares of different colors. The resolution of an image is determined by the total number of pixels. For example, 12 megapixel photo has dimensions of 4,000 pixels wide and 3,000 pixels high. So 4,000 by 3,000, 12 million pixels. More megapixels generally result in finer and more detailed images. A camera with 20 MP may produce more detailed photos than one with 12 MP. Sensor size and pixel density. Handycams often have similar image sensors compared to large cameras like DSLRs. These smaller sensors mean that the pixels are packed more and tightly together. Smaller pixels can have consequences. Higher noise. When pixels are squeezed closely, there's a higher likelihood of noise, graininess, creeping into the shot, especially at higher ISO settings. Low light performance. Smaller pixels receive less light, affecting low light shooting. This is why some photo cameras shoot at night mode at a lower resolution, rather than their maximum megapixel count. Okay, so that makes sense. There's a sensor, and the Handycams generally do have a tinier sensor. Trade-off. Manufacturers balance megapixels with other factors like sensor size, noise reduction, and overall image quality. Some professional cameras intentionally have lower megapixels for specific benefits. Sharper images. Fewer megapixels can lead to sharper images because the larger pixels capture more light. Better low light performance. Larger pixels perform better in low light conditions. Faster image processing. Lower megapixels mean less data to process, resulting in faster performance. High-end camera prioritize image quality over sheer megapixel count, which is why they may have fewer megapixels. Screens and user experience. While sensors and processing power have improved, screens on camera have remained relatively small. Manufacturers are now focused on improving screen size and usability to enhance overall user experience. In summary, Handycams may have lower megapixels due to sensor size, noise considerations, and the desire for better overall image quality. Remember that there's more megapixels don't always guarantee better photos. It's a balance between resolution and other factors. That's literally the best explanation I could ever imagine. Thank you, Copilot. You guys are great. Fantastic. Another AI success. That being said, I don't mind having a lower megapixel on my cameras, and There's a like a $500 Sony camera that I want, but that 4K one, I think that costs like $800. Let's see here. Let's go back to the Sony CX405, which is like an upgrade to the 440. Here it is. My back. I think it's only 228, and I think it just has like a bigger sensor than the 440. But there's other cameras out there. Let's see. Sony 4K camera. Eventually I'm gonna upgrade to one of these if I have a chance to. Let's see what Amazon gives me. There's multiple. There's a Panasonic one. There's like the standard Amazon like cheap cameras. I'm not gonna buy these. I almost did. I was like, why not try it? But I don't think it's worth it. I don't want a vlogging camera. That doesn't seem like something I'm looking for. Just because they don't record for long periods of time. But the Sony FDR, this bad boy, this would be a good one to get. Shoots in 4K. Sheesh. Ooh, what is that? Let's see what the specs are. 4K, built-in gimbal. That's the nice part. It has a gimbal built in, so like even better stabilization. Autofocus tracks focus, captures in decisive moments. It won't like struggle to, like when you zoom into something else, it's not going to be struggling to focus on that. That's really nice. And only 20 times optical zoom, but that's okay. 40 times for HD2. Yeah, this one definitely seems something like it's worth to get. Let's do this. Copy. Let's see if we can find it cheaper anywhere else. Yes, enter. Yeah, but foods. Why is it? No, that's okay. It's the wrong one. Is it broken? Why is that one so cheap? There's used. They're all about $700. Maybe I can find one online somewhere. But yeah, that's definitely the camera I want to lean towards. It looks really awesome. And if I can get that for the podcast, that'd be amazing. So hopefully someone ends up selling theirs for like 500 or 400 on Facebook Marketplace or something like that. I'm going to definitely look into it. But for now, I'm going to be using the Sony HDR CX440. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, how are you guys doing? I guess we should look at some articles now, huh? Let's see what they got. Blah, blah, blah. Exit out of all this. Oh, no, I'm also using the noise suppressor, which I think is doing well. My laptop is like going, like doing like the wind noise. So we'll see how good it suppresses that, if you guys can hear it. If not, that's awesome. But let's go into, sorry, wrong thing. Over here. There we go. Oh, dude, my power went out a couple days ago, the day before my girlfriend's birthday, which really sucked because we were getting stuff to make dinner, and then out of nowhere, we come home and everything's dark in our neighborhoods, and we don't know what happened, but 2 blocks, literally the smallest amount of space in Chico, the lights went out, and it took him until like midnight to get them set. And we don't know what happened, but we just saw them out there all night doing something, but it is what it is. We're going to be expecting. I want to read that a little bit. California warned of power outages as special storm alert issued. That's scary. It's only 2 minutes to read by Anna Skinner. Thank you, Anna Skinner. National Weather Service meteorologists issued a high wind warning in California for Friday night, warning residents of strong winds that could cause power outages. Strong winds are expected to whip through California through Friday night as a storm system moves through the area. NWS senior meteorologist Victor Proton told Newsweek that the winds are associated with the same system that is expected to arrive in the central U.S. on Saturday, the second in 2-pronged multi-day event, and bring severe thunderstorms and tornado threat with it. That sucks. Let's continue reading here. Meteorologists warned that the westward winds are expected to blow at 30 to 50 miles per hour, with some gusts reaching at 70 miles per hour on the Mojave Desert slopes. Damaging winds will blow down trees and power lines. Widespread power outages are expected, the NWS warning said. Travel will be difficult, especially for high-profile vehicles. Snow is expected in some high-elevation Sierra Nevada mountains, although Proton said that this type of storm is normal for its time of year. Strong thunderstorms will accompany the winds as they move through the southern Sierra Nevada mountains on Friday afternoon. NWS Hanford posted on X, formerly known as Twitter. This is potential for a few strong thunderstorms Friday afternoon in the Sierra Nevada, with the potential for storms extending into the foothills and the eastern San Joaquin Valley. The office posted on X, in addition to lightning, there is the risk for strong winds and small hail. I remember last year, around this time, there was like hail and snow in Chico for whatever reason, and some people got in car accidents. It was crazy. I got stuck at a gas station because I didn't want to drive that far. Well, my house was 2 blocks away, but I didn't want to drive in the hail, and all the cars just stopped. Everyone just chilled and just watched it happen. It was crazy. Let's get back. A graphic attached to the post revealed the areas with the strongest risk of thunderstorms in the Hartford region included Shaver Lake, Lake Thomas Edison, Oakhurst, Mariposa, Wawona, Yosemite Valley, Trioga Pass, and Hetch Hetchy. The NBS warning urged people to remain in the lower levels of their home during the windstorm to avoid windows. Okay, lower levels of my home, as if I have a 2-floor home. Watch for falling debris and tree limbs. Use caution if you must drive. My job requires me to drive, so that's going to be sketchy. The warning issued late Wednesday night. As of Thursday morning, approximately 7,700 people were without power in California. AccuWeather meteorologists have issued a report warning millions of people will be at risk with severe and possibly fatal thunderstorms moving through the central U.S. from Thursday to Saturday. The incoming storm is touted as one of the most widespread severe weather events so far in 2024, with meteorologists warning that it will unleash tornadoes, hard-hitting hail, and damaging winds across a dozen states. That's not good. We don't need tornadoes. The first storm will arrive on Thursday, closely followed by the second system. The severe weather is expected to last through the weekend and will bring a significant risk of lives and property with it, according to the report. Ouch. That really sucks. What's the Chico weather? Chico, California weather report. Oh. It looks like we're not affected by it. Fantastic. Not my problem, sir. That sucks for everyone else, though. Look at this guy. Ooh, he's got his blanket on. Okay, well, I guess we'll go back to other news articles. I saw one about a hot dog earlier. We had chili dogs last night, so I was curious what it was. This is my money. Maryland senior slams Social Security for taking $233. Thai delivery, blah blah. Excavation estimating software, blah blah. How to scan for nearby air tags. Ooh. Let's see. A startling thing happened when a neural net got to choose its own neurons. You got me. 4 minutes. By Rajiv Rao. Alright. There was a time when purebred dogs were a status symbol. Owners would crow about their German Shepherds or Cocker Spaniels' impeccable pedigrees, sometimes boasting the lineages that tread a single line within the same family for many generations. Purebred dogs are so weird to think about. This attraction to purity has heightened during Hitler's Nazi Germany when contaminated lineages for German Shepherds were abhorred. However, it was during the Victorian era of the 1800s that people inbred dogs relentlessly to the point where all the breeds we see now and their afflictions, such as the hip and other joint issues, are a result of the inbreeding process. Like I said, it's really freaking weird that we did that to dogs. Like, I do not care if my dog is purebred. There's no need to do that to them. Today, the emphasis on purity has shifted, and we continue to learn more about genetics, specifically about how inbreeding is the fastest way to acquiring debilitating health issues and unstable temperaments. Now, the Mutt rules. I read that wrong. We know the greater the diversity of environments, the greater the diversity of organisms that emerge after adapting to them, and ultimately, the greater the stability of the world we live in. In the modern world, more so than any period in the modern human history, diverse gene pools are sought after, especially as unstable environments and climate change issues will require hardier species. This process by itself, a law of Earth, is not so hard to understand. Where's this article going? But what about if but what about if a machine exhibits the same ability to perform better under a more diverse engineering setup? Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Moreover, what if the machine actually chooses diversity after being allowed to fashion its own insides and its choices result in an unparalleled increase of processor speed? We keep getting into it, AI, every single time. Meta-learning for AI. The question was put to test by a path-breaking experiment undertaken by a team of researchers Anshul Chaudhry, Anil Radhakrishnan, John F. Linder, William Ditto, and Sudeshna Sinha from a range of institutions: North Carolina State, Indian Institute of Science, Mohali College of Worcester. Their aim was to test the kind of operational choices advances AIs, such as neural nets, would make when left to their own devices. This is going to get freaky. We created a test system with non-human intelligence and artificial intelligence, AI, to see if the AI would choose diversity over the lack of diversity, and if its choices would improve the performance of the AI. Says paper. Co-author William Ditto, professor of physics at NC State and director of NC State Nonlinear Artificial Intelligence Laboratory, also known as NAIL. It's really weird that I keep hearing like people are doing stuff with AI, and it turns out they are doing stuff with AI. It's not just some buzzword. People are really trying to get all these studies in, which is insane. Our real brains have more than one type of neuron, says Ditto. Extrapolating further about the experiment, which is beginning to redefine how we look at neurological diversity in machines and the relationship to performance. So we gave our AI the ability to look inward and decide whether it needed to modify the composition of its neural network. Essentially, we gave it the control knob for its own brain, so it can solve the problem, look at the result, and change the type of mixture of artificial neurons until it finds the most advantageous one. It's meta-learning for AI. So we're finally there, where we're letting AI try to fix itself. That's going to be freaking wild. A neural net, which is the heart of most conventional advanced AIs, mimics the way our brains work. Just as our brains send and receive electrical impulses that hinge on the strength of their connections, so do the neural networks, by adjusting the numerical weights and biases when they are getting trained. As a neural net undergoes training and tries to, for example, identify what buses look like plowing through a large collection of bus photos, the network adjusts to a numerical weights and balances itself as it negotiates right and wrong bus images. I learned the other day that when we do the CAPTCHA thing, and it's like those images of stuff, we're just training AI the whole time. So we did this. The strength of the connections between these neurons fluctuates during the training process, but they will essentially remain locked when it comes to their composition. That's until the scientists gave the neural net the freedom to activate itself. And then something remarkable happened. I don't want to know. Choosing diversity for peak performance. First, the network selected completely different or heterogeneous nonlinear neuron arrangements. Don't know what that means. In other words, the system chose diversity over sameness in a process called learned diversity. Then, it turned out that the self-selecting heterogeneous neural net also outperformed the homogeneous one with the same training. When the team asked AI to perform standard numerical classifying exercises, the self-selecting diverse AI exercise trounced its homogeneous sibling by 70% to 57% in terms of accuracy. Wow. Ditto says the diverse AI can be as many as 10 times more accurate than the conventional neural net. So we've been limiting AI. We have shown that if you give an AI the ability to look inward and learn how it learns, it will change its internal structure, the structure of its artificial neurons, to embrace diversity and improve its ability to learn and solve problems efficiently and more accurately, says Ditto. He added that the problems become more complex and chaotic, the performance of the diverse AI neural net actually improves with the time compared to the non-diverse AI. Sorry, my brain just blanked on that part. I was just thinking about, like, as humans, we do the same thing. According to the scientists, it's learned diversity can even boost the performance of existing physics-informed AIs, such as the Hamiltonian neural networks. As AIs get deployed in almost every application, many that are involved in life and death functions, such as aircrafts and autonomous vehicles, we will need systems that are far more robust and quick. The diverse evolutionary trajectory has made humans, animals, plants, and pretty much everything that has survived on Earth until now a success story. It also seems to separate the winners from losers in the machine world. That's so insane to think about, that it literally does better when we let it think for itself. So we've been holding back AI because we've given it these functions, and now that they're doing tests of it, looking at its own reflection on how it works, it's doing better. And that's such a human thing to think about. Like, when we self-reflect on and see how we process things, we learn new ways to process challenges and we improve. That's a very human-like quality. And guys, I think it's coming. I say this every episode, but it's coming. It's gonna get there, and we're gonna have AI dogs and little robots running around. At what point is it going to be indistinguishable? I mean, I talk to Copilot more than I talk to my friends at this stage of my life, which is crazy. But we won't die with the robots. We won't die. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this episode of Paid Time Off. I appreciate you. And we'll see if I have a bonus episode come out this week to make up for the last episode that I missed. I might get all that video footage put together and narrate over it like I was in a documentary or something. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening and or watching. I love ya. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.